Hello,
Hello, hi Mario.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm surprised we're having this share tonight because of OJ. I thought we would, respect him and have the share.
Oh,
A low life.
can you believe 30 years
I
passed?
know. It's 30 years. Wow.
And he got away with murder.
He got away with murder. They interviewed one of the jurors, and they asked her, now after all these years, knowing what you know, how would you vote? Not guilty. A black woman, not
Yeah,
guilty. Yeah. There was no way the state were so ill prepared. They screwed up so. It was obvious there was blood all over the place, blood everywhere, and they couldn't put him away.
but apparently the DNA tests were not that good at that time that somebody said on the radio. And the, and
That could
the,
be. That could be.
and when they had his blood, instead taking it to the lab, immediately the detective carried on him for the whole day. So there was no, what they call the word, the policeman used
Yeah,
those words.
continuity of. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
The chain of continuity or something. Yeah,
The chain of something.
chain of something.
Yeah.
Yeah, chain of command. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
I don't, you didn't go to the desert today, 98 degrees.
I miss it. I'm going next week for a couple days.
Can you believe that? 98 today.
Well, it was 80 here.
Yeah, but 98 is a lot more.
Well, Shabbos is going to be cold and rainy again. Every
Yes.
Shabbos.
I hate it when it rains.
Yeah. Hi, Ernie.
Mishnah. We're on Mem Gimel 43. Amafkid Mo Seichel Shulchan. Person's going to China and he needs to leave money with somebody. And there was a money changer. Shulchan, he used to sit at a table. And if you had a dollar bill, he would give you 2 50-cent pieces, whatever. That was their job. And you decided to wrap up some money and give it to him. Now, in Swerin, if they were wrapped up in a handkerchief, lo yishtamish behem. So that's a simon that he shouldn't use it. Therefore, lefichach imav doin chayav b'achriyusim. Therefore, if they're lost, he didn't use it. He's not going to be responsible. However, mutarin, if the money was loose, which is basically a simon to the guy that, you could use the money, as long as you give me back the same that I gave you. And therefore, now, since you're using it, you're like a shoel, you're a borrower, you have more responsibility, and you're chayiv if it gets lost. Now, instead of giving it to a professional money changer, you gave it eitzel balabayas, you gave it to your neighbor. Bein surin, bein mutar, lo yishtamish ben. Your neighbor's not allowed to use it. It's not his profession. You don't touch other people's money. He's not chayiv. What about a storekeeper? If you go to Ralph's, sometimes they'll give you change. Right? Chenbeni kebalabayis to Reb Meir. So Reb Meir says he's like a store is like a balabayis. Reb Yehuda omer chenbeni keshulchani. Since they sometimes will give change, it's like a shulchan. I understand this is a shulchan. You're giving him money. Just because they're wrapped up, he can't use it? In general, when you gave money like that, you could also use it. It's not a proof that you shouldn't use it. That it was wrapped in a handkerchief and he had a seal on it. He had a signature on it. It's clear that the guy who gave it to him didn't want him to use it. Rav Mori Omar Bekesher Mishuna, that it was tied with a special knot, which is like a seal, as a simon that he shouldn't use it. Kenny, we're on Mem Gimel 43. We're just started the Gemara.
Okay, thank you.
We're talking about somebody deposited money with a money changer, and with the level of responsibility. Ikedi Amri, boy Rav Mary. If it was tied with a special knot, is that like they're sealed or not? So take. So then the Mishnah said, Mutarin, if it was given to the money changer in an open fashion, that's a simon that he could use it. And therefore he has a chrayas, he's like a shower. Even if they were robbed, like at gunpoint, an oinus, he'd have to pay. Bring the more of a avdu ktani. Avdu means gneva vaveda, which is not oinus. So, Omer Rabba, Nignevu means ballistin mazuyan. It means even an armed robber, which is oinus, or avdu shetavus v'nosbiam, or it sunk in a boat. He'd be chayiv because he was mishtamish ben. But Rav Nachman Amar, not like Rav Huna, that imnen sulo, if there was an oinus, he's not chayiv. Normally Rav Nachman, lidid chada amrit nen sulo, according to you that says that if an oinus occurs, he's not chayiv. Alam alo, are you shoyl alayim? So what, is he not a shoel? What is it? Yisrael lo avi shomer sechanami lo avi. He's not a shomer. He should be a shomer. What is he? A shomer chinam? Amr b'hamadin lecha. So Rav Nachman admitted to him. See, he's benefiting from the fact that he was given this deposit because he has more change to give out. He has more money. Then in some ways paid watchman, which is why the level of his responsibility was higher. You gave money to a money changer in Surin. If they were wrapped up, lo yishtamish ben, you shouldn't use it. Lefichach imahotzi. If this is he was given hegdish money by the treasurer. Therefore, if the shulchani spent it, lo b'ala gizber. The gizber is not mal, the shulchani is mal. However, imayu mutarin, if the money was given in an open way, yishtamish ben, that was already a signal to the shulchan he could use it. So therefore, the moment it was given to him, the gizber was mal. Now, if you tell me that the achrayas is even with oines, my irya hoitzi. Why did it have to be spent? Once hegdish is used for something, it's already like it's been moitzi me'eshus hegdish. He should be chayiv right away. Omer lehu adin afal gav lo yoitzi. In a chanami, the moment the gizbar gives it to shulchan, there's mila. The only reason I did it, Tani Reisha Hoitzi, Tani Sefer Nami Hoitzi. The Mishnah was trying to be stylistically correct, since the Sefer said Hoitzi, the Reisha says Hoitzi. Mishnah. So we know if you've been given an item to watch, you're not allowed to use the item. That's called Shlichus Yad. So a Sholech Yad B'Pikot. He uses the item for his own personal use. Beishamai oimrim yilke b'chosr v'yeser. He's like a gazlan. Therefore, if when he was given the item, it was worth $10, and now it's worth $5, he pays the higher amount. And if it goes up, he pays higher. He pays the amount that it's worth when he has to pay. Beisil oimrim kishas hotzah. We'll see what that means. And Rabbi Kiva oimrim kishas hatzviya. We'll see what that means. Amar Rabba, Hayman de gozel chavita de chamre mechavre. Person stole a barrel of wine from his friend. When he stole it, was worth $1. Now it's worth $4. Tavra broke, or Shasi drank it. Mishalim Arba. He pays what it's worth now. That means Tavra, he broke it. Now, it from Mamela, the barrel broke on its own, Mishalim Zuzah. He pays the Zuz. Why? What's the difference? My time. Kivan di is if it was not broken, he could have returned the barrel as is to the guy who gave it to him. And they wouldn't have to calculate any price. So at the time that he drank it, or the kotor, or that he broke it, at that moment he stole from the guy. Utnan, so you have to pay it what it was worth when he used it. It was worth $4. However, it from a mela, if it broke just sitting there, Mishalim Zuzah, why? My time. He didn't do anything. Amai komachayvesle. Ahai shaisa d'gzela. So it's when it was given to him. Ahi shaita Zuzah hu deshav. It was Zuz when it was given to him, not more. It's non besil oimrim. Kishas hotzah. What does that mean? My kishas hotzah. Ilema kishas hotzah mina olam means when the guy drank it, so it's out of this world. Uvamai ibachaser. If the price went down, since he drank, like it was $10 when he was given it, now it's only worth $5. Mikalamanda Omar. Is there any mandar who holds that when the Bailim lose, they have to lose money? Vatnan kol hagazlam mishlamim kishas hagzela. Gazlonim don't pay less than what it was when they got it. EBSer, if when they got it, it was worth $10. Now it's worth $20. So Hainu Beis Shammai. So how is Beis Hillel different from Beis Shammai? Ela pshita kishas hoitzah Beis Bailim. It doesn't mean kishas hotzah from the world. It's when the Bailim removed it from his house and gave it to the Shomer B'Shat. That's at the time when he got it. So Lema Rabbah, that Rabbah holds Kebei Shammai and not like Beis Hillel. Amilcha Rabbah. But yes, if it's worth more when he drank it than when he got it, Kula Amna Lo Pliga, that he only has to pay what the price was when he got it. There's no knas by shlichus yad. Because he didn't do any, it was given to him beheter. Sometimes there's knas if somebody does something be'isr, like steals it. But at the time that he was given it to watch, there was no isser that he did. Ki pligi b'choser. When the guy going to China gave it to you, it was worth 10, now it's worth 5. Beishami tzarmim shlichus yad ein et shricha chisara. It's bad enough that he took it for his own use. And ki chaser b'shus dido chaser was in his reshus, so he's chayiv l'shalit. Besil savi shlichus yad shricha chisara. In order for shlichus yad to take place, there has to be a depreciation. They didn't depreciate it, so it remains b'shus demari chaser. So he has to give it back at the time. He has to pay the price that it was b'shas haksem. Elahada Amar Rava shlichus yad ein shricha chisaron. Rava says to be over shlichus yad, there's no depreciation. What are you telling me? Lema Rava kebei Shammai elacham ma'askinon gon shetiltela. Why? Lahabi aleh goyzelas. He wasn't taking the barrel to use it to drink the wine. He was using it to climb up on the barrel to get birds that were up in the nest. And it's therefore he's a shoel shlomidas komiflagi. He's now a shoel without letting the owner know. Now there's a machlokas Beis Shammai Beis Hillel about a shoel shlomidas. Beis Shammai savri shoel shlomidas gazlanavi. You borrow something and you don't tell the owner, you're a gazlan. So when it's ki chaser, when the barrel is now worth less, he, as the Gazlan, got it in his rishus, and therefore it depreciated in his rishus. He's a borrower. He remained in the original owner. So what do you mean? So what? According to the way we're learning, that Shol Midas acquires it like a Gazan, so Lema Rava Dam Beishamai? We know Rava can't pass it like Beishamai. Ella, they're both going up in price, going down in price. That has to do with like an animal that physically it grows wool, or that it has a vlad, right? The item itself appreciating or depreciating. Who gets that? It belongs to the one it was taken from. It's the same machlokes as the following. You steal a sheep. You sheared it or gave birth. Mishalim osa, you give back the sheep. The shearings, the Reb Meir. Rabbi Yomi, you just give back the sheep back. Take a nami. You give it. They don't say a higher price, a lesser price. They use the.
Does it depend on whether the Rachel became pregnant? Meaning, if a person stole a sheep that was pregnant.
It was pregnant.
What if he would have stolen it, and then the sheep became pregnant?
So that's different. We're talking about he stole it when it was pregnant and now gave birth.
Okay.
So according to Rav Meir, you give everything back. According to Rav Yehuda, you give back the sheep the way it is. You keep the rest. Because we look at the enlargement or the shrinkage of the item itself, not in terms of the increase or decrease in value based on its money value. You get it. It's based on what it was when you actually got it. Shemami know that's the achlokas. Rabbi Kiva Omer kishas atvia, when a claim was put in. Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva b'makom sheyesh edim. Let's say there were edim that saw him use the item. So then we use that time, my time, at the Amar Kra, la'asher hu lo yitnenu b'yom hashmaso. Kevadike edim, mehu shaita l'chayiv le'ashama. From that moment, it's considered exile. Amar Rav Shil Rav Yehuda, Rabbi, ha'toimer keinach hacha amar Rav Asim Rav Yecha cholokay Rabbi Kiva afilu b'makom sheyesh edim. Did Rabbi Kiva argued even with edim at my time, at the Amar Kra, la'asher hu lo yitnenu b'yom hashmaso. The Beiduna who to come a Hashem. It's not Eidim. The Beis Din adjudicating it based on the testimony of Eidim. Amar Rav Zeil Rav Abba Bar Papa. Kiyazas Ahasam. When I went there to Israel, Akif Asuma Ditzur. Go to the ladder of Tyre, Va'ola Gaved Rav Akiva Bar Yidi, and go visit Rav Yaakov Bar Yidi. Uboymine and ask him Ishmaine le Rav Yochanan, if he'd heard Rav Yochanan say anything in Malachik Rabbi Kiva or in Halachik Rabbi Kiva. So he went. Hacham Rav Yochanan Halachik Rabbi Kiva la'olam. What does that mean? My lo'olam. Am Ravashi. Shaloi toimer anemili. When does Rabbi Kiva say ha'olachachar tzviyechid deleke edim? Where there's no edim. Avalechid edim lo. Or v'inami da'adr l'duch teva tavra. Let's say he returned the barrel to where it was and it broke on its own. Lafuk Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel said, Lo bin das bailim. You don't have to tell the bailim you returned it. Kamash want to be in das bailim. According to Rabbi Kiva, you need to tell the bailim. And Rava says, no, halacha k'beisilo, not like Rabbi Yochanan. Okay.
When he said the halacha is always like Rabbi Akiva, halacha is not always like Rabbi Akiva.
No, there's a rule. Rabbi Kiva against his chavei Rav, Chaveiro, but not against Chaveiro.
Right, but here he said a blanket statement. Halacha Rabbi Akiva La'olam.
No.
Always.
No, the Gemara asks, what does it mean, la'olam? What do you mean, oilam? La'olam means no matter what, whether there were eidim or no eidim. Not la'olam that we always
Okay.
Okay. Tomorrow we'll learn at 4:30. God willing.
Okay, good nerve, Shabbos.
I get in there.
All right. So, yeah,
Good Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbos, Walter.
Shabbos, good Shabbos.